Well, thanks for that, Milo. It's always good to keep track of all your upgrades being dishwasher safe. And apparently you can also see the Matrix, but I don't really believe that. Right, hello everybody. So don't you think you might be slightly mad because you pop out, but it's actually snowed last night. Can you believe it? Oh no, I've got my balaclava on under it. Believe me, when I woke up, I was all ready to do some filming today, and then yes, it snowed, and I couldn't even get out of my driveway, so that wasn't so good. But I thought I wanted to do some filming, and now it's the afternoon's come. It's everything's thawed out because it's a very bright sunny day. So I thought, oh well, let's just do some filming anyway, because I wanted to do a Milo coffee stop, which we will be doing, which I'm actually going to film on a different day because I think it's going to get worse over the next few days. But I didn't need the bike to film that bit, so I'm going back to Fuel Holmbush, which is it's their second cafe, but it's quite a big unit. It's really nice, and they've got dedicated bike parking and cars and all the rest of it, so it's really cool. So that'll be the second part, introduced by Milo. So I'm sure I'm riding along and I'm sort of riding on ice. You think, well, that front wheel feels a little bit loose. But what I thought I'd do, so I'm sticking to the main roads, but what I wanted you to talk about was the thing about promotions on channels and what people actually think about that. You know, when you plug a product and the sort of stuff that you can, you get, you know, Muppets like me, you know, plugging away at. And what do you, the viewers, the viewing public, because I view as well, obviously, you know, I view other YouTubers and see the stuff that they're promoting. What do you actually feel about that? Does it annoy you? You know, do you think that, well, that's, you know, what's that got to do with motorbikes, sort of thing? You know, you might be asked to do all sorts of random stuff, and I'll tell you some of the funny stuff that I've been asked to do that, you know, obviously I didn't go anywhere near. And this was, I don't know whether they're trying to tell me something, but anyway. So you get. So just to explain how the system sort of works, and this stuff comes to you by all sorts of methods, really. So you might get, you know, a direct request for a review of their product, and basically what they're doing is they're saying, look, we'll send you this product for free if you do a review on your channel, and hopefully it's got something to do with motorbikes or motorbike related, and. You know, some of them you'll get if you get a discount code, then you can be sure that the YouTube reviewer is getting a kickback in general, because as part of that discount code, it means that every time somebody buys it using your code, you're going to get a percentage of that sale price, and some of them can be incredibly favourable, and I suppose it depends how much they want to push stuff. If you remember, sort of back at the time when I went to Morocco, I went through Europe and all the rest of that, I used the AOCHI system. I used that, which I always called the C6, Steve, which was the C6 Pro, which was actually a really great piece of kit. And I used that all the way through my trip and into Africa, and it was fantastic. So from that piece of kit, they gave me a discount code, which is a discount code for any of their products, not just the C6 Steve. And that means you could buy any of their products off their website. I think it was about 15% or something like that. And I would get, I think, 8% of the sale price now. I think I paid something like 30 quid or 40 pounds, something like that. And that's still sitting in an account. I've never been able to get that because I think there's probably a payment threshold, so I never actually got any of that money. But that wasn't the point for me. It was just because, yes, it was a piece of kit that I could use and I wanted to take on the trip. And it meant that I didn't have to buy it, really. And you must be upfront about this. You know, I didn't need to buy that piece of kit. It was given to me. And what they also did for me, they put the startup screen, which was customised for me, which you could do on that side. And I thought it was actually a really good piece of kit, and it fitted well with the bike. But at the same time as that came out, there was an awful lot of those display units, wasn't there, about, and I got asked to do several of those, and I just thought, what's the point in doing another one? You know, what do I say? It's better than the Archie, it's not as good as the Archie or whatever, and I couldn't see the point. So for me, it just wasn't worth doing another one. The only thing I did in relation to that was the unit which I tried to adapt, which wasn't a sat-nav unit, but I thought it might have worked as a training aid, which sort of fell flat on its face. But that was a good piece of kit though, and I did that because it had the buttons rather than the touchscreen. You had big buttons on it. So, and I thought from that point forward, but it's not much point me doing any more of those screens. I've done that, and I wasn't going to do any more. So I've gone on the basis that it's got to be useful. I've got to have a use for it, a practical use for it, to do with motorbikes. Well, there wasn't really much point. And I'm not, condemning any of the YouTubers that do it. Lots of other stuff, because I see, all sorts of things coming up on channels that you think, what's that got to do with motorbikes? But fair play. That I think the interesting thing is that the ad revenue on YouTube has dropped. I'm sure it's dropped, and I remember from last year, particularly around Christmas, that the ad revenues were very high because it's Christmas time, and that just doesn't happen now. It was nowhere near that. So, but that doesn't bother me. It's not a major income for me. It's more of an interest, and I'm just enjoying the process of making content. It's great. But I will do stuff which is, I think, will work for me as getting a free piece of kit, but it's still got to be useful, and I still want it. I think for me, when I started this lark, I remember saying to a company that said, "Oh, would you try this piece of kit out?" I said, "Oh yeah, okay," because I was quite, buoyed up on the fact that someone's going to give me a piece of kit, and it was all quite exciting. But I said to them, "Yeah, but if I don't like it, I'll just send it back. I won't review it. I'll just send it back, and I won't give you a bad review. I think I just won't do it." They never contacted me again. So and that's sort of how it's got along, really. So the stuff that I do is quite few and far between, I think. But it is useful, and it does help. You get the piece of kit. I mean, you don't have to pay for it. I suppose it makes up a bit of an income, really. Things like the Saviour gloves, the ones I've got on here, they're great. Really good bit of kit, and some of the people that you deal with are really, really nice. And that's another important factor for me. The people at Saviour were really, really good. They understood what I was doing, and I made the review a bit funny, and that. And then when I said, "Oh, we're going out to France, would you be able to supply a pair for Karen?" They said, "Yeah, great." And we did when they saw what we did, the review of it, they were really pleased and they were really happy. And they said, "Is there anything else? Just let us know." So, some of the companies are great, and that means a lot to me. If they're nice people to deal with, then I think, okay, I'll work with you. That's fine. But the other things I've had, like the tyre inflator, and the thing that was the tyre inflator, the power pack. It did one more thing, did it? I can't remember what it was. It's not good, is it? The Asperix unit. That was a really nice piece of kit, and that's something that I'll use again and again, particularly in France. So, that's where I am with it, really. But I'd like to know your thoughts on it. How do you feel about the promotional side of it? Do you think it detracts from the channel itself, and you think, well, you're becoming a bit of a shopping channel, and I don't like that? And that's why I've sort of shied away from too much of it, you know. But it is handy. But, you know, if Ducati, you know, got in touch, said I'll probably lucky to have a multi-stratum for a year. Okay, you're right. I'm not going to say no, am I? But there you go. So some of the stuff that I have been offered, which I just, what's it got to do with motorbikes? I've been offered the last one, which was a quite big ticket item, was an electric three-wheeled bicycle. You know, like a sort of the thing that people have when they go shopping. You know, more elderly people, they might have something to go shopping on. A three-wheeler push bike with a battery. Now, this thing was about $3.5 grand. You know, they were going to send me this product. It's like, what am I going to do with it? It's nothing to do with motorbikes. And I could just imagine all the comments if I'd have done that. We did think about it would have been funny to put Karen on it and just sort of like randomly going past the window. Because I could have made it funny, but I thought, you know, I think it's very easy to get sucked in, and that thing where you think, wow, you know, someone's going to give me something that's worth $3.5 grand. But what am I going to do with it? You know, that doesn't really work for me. I've also had, now this is where it does get sort of funny. You know, I've also been asked to look at stuff, a treadmill, a walking pad. I don't know what a walking pad is. I really don't know what that is. Those sort of exercise things. Now, does that mean that these people are watching my videos and going, you could lose a few pounds? And you just think, I don't want that. How do I tie that in? You know, do I go to the Roundtree or do the Wednesday Bike Club from a treadmill? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It doesn't work, does it? But I don't know. You know, you just got to laugh a little bit. Interesting. The other thing that you do get quite a lot of is people asking you to work with them. They might look after a load of clients with kit, and they'll ask you to collaborate. And some of those could be. I can imagine a lot of the big YouTube channels that do like some of that sort. So it's like having an agent, I suppose. And for some channels, I think it could be incredibly lucrative. I was asked by you know, those VPNs you get, you know, that you go on the internet. I was asked to do one of those, and I said to the company, "Oh, actually, yeah, I do travel abroad a lot and on the bike, and that would be useful to keep my stuff secure." And I did do that when I went to Morocco, and it worked very well. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in that." And the money that they offer for that sort of stuff, just to give you an idea, so they were offering me $300 for, I think it was only a 90-second plug on their thing, and I think $150 or something for a 60-second plug. And I thought, well, yeah, that's fine if it works all right. And I dare say you got, you know, free use of the VPN, whatever it was. So, but you know, you get asked to do these things, and yeah, that'd be okay. I could fit that in somewhere, no problem. 90 seconds isn't going to do anybody in your arm, is it? And it's useful. But I tried to upload it and it didn't work, and that was the last thing I heard of it. And then I thought, was it a scam? And then I asked my son, and he said, "Oh, that's going to be a scam," because he's an expert on computers. But it wasn't. But they obviously put feelers out to lots of different people, and if they get the people that they want with enough viewers, they don't worry about it. So it's quite odd, really, the way these things work. And it's a quite a dog-eat-dog world, isn't it, really? And it's very cutthroat, and, you know, they don't have to contact me again, do they? So, I don't know. I didn't lose any money out of my account, so I didn't have any after effects from it. But yeah, it's quite interesting. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you think is acceptable, and what would you think that's going to turn you off straight away from stuff. And it's just interesting to get your thoughts about that. So I'm not to talk about any channels in particular, but just for your thoughts on these. They call them collabs, collaborations. What do you think? And should it stick to specifically motorbike stuff and stuff that you would use? And you know, that's where I go with it anyway. But there you are. I just thought you might find that interesting, but you won't see me on a 3-wheel bicycle anytime soon. However much it cost to me. But obviously Ducati or, you know, Triumph or anybody who feel the need to give me a nice time. It's fun, you know. I'll not complain, you know. I'll say it's fantastic even if it's terrible. But there you are. Right, let's shut up for that nonsense on this cold day. I will plug these. Do you know what? I've actually got these on the lowest setting in this car. I keep forgetting to take them out, but I remember today. Anyway, so I'm now going to cut to Milo's introduction of Fuel, the Fuel Cafe, and hopefully there's something you might look, because the food's really good there, and the coffee's great, and it's a really good atmosphere. So take it away, Milo.
Hello everybody, you know it's Milo here, and I just wanted to say I've been updated. I'm now dishwasher safe. But you know, I just wanted to say have a great coffee, and if you don't, I'm gonna come find you because I can see you behind there. Okay? Alright, have a nice coffee. Love you all. Take care.
Well, thanks for that, Milo. It's always good to keep track of all your upgrades, being dishwasher safe. And apparently you can also see the Matrix, but I don't really believe that. Right, so here we are at Fuel. This is recorded after the ride, obviously, because it was too cold, wet and horrible. But what's nice is you get the big car park here, and then, it's really nice, you get dedicated motorbike parking. I hope you can see that with the sun. Which is on hard standing, which is great because obviously the other car park is gravel, so this is really nice that you can park up on here and you go into it. Right, let's go inside to the Fuel Roadhouse. So that's Fuel. Fantastic. The food looks amazing. Been speaking to Pete, the owner, for quite some time, one of the directors here, and they're going to be looking to do a lot more here. And I think there's such a nice atmosphere. But they've got a retail space they're going to develop, and I might be bringing my Triumph down here so they can have it as a prop. It should be fun. But really good. They've got some great ideas, and I just think it's worth supporting the local taste, and the coffee is excellent. We're quite lucky in the south, in this region, that there's places like this that are opening up, and you know, I think you need to support them. If you don't support them, you lose them. So yeah, excellent. Hopefully do some more stuff for me in the future. Maybe we have a subscriber meet up here. All right, back to the bike.
Right, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that little trip down to Fuel. So check them out. It's a really lovely spot. They're open Wednesdays to Sundays, and I think they do some sort of, you know, classic car meets and all that sort of stuff. So they're really sort of building their clientele. So yeah, worth a ride out, and it's really nice inside. Right, look after yourselves. And I hope the weather isn't too bad for you. You can get out a little bit on your bikes. But I'm heading back now for a cup of tea. Right, look after yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Ride safe, please.